stopping by. This video is going to be a review on our NC Star Tri-Fold Medical Pouch, also known as a IFAK, Individual First Aid Kit, Blowout Kit, Active Shooter Kit. This one's pretty much set up for us to be just a mini trauma kit. I've actually taken this big trauma kit here that we have for major medical events and compacted all the good juice out of here and put it inside this little guy here. We use this when we go camping, hunting, you know, if there's a SHTF, WROL, grid down situation, the range, we got to the shooting, just a great kit here to have to shooting range. Something you can throw in your car, vehicle. This is a good little kit here to have. Again, I try to take everything out here. We got a pretty extensive trauma kit here, and it's just too big for me to carry around everywhere if we go hunting or hiking or whatnot. Just too bulky. I didn't set this up to carry around. I set it up to, you know, just to hold the items in here, and that way we had them. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me move this bad boy out of the way. And here we go. Again, this is the NC Star Tri-Fold Medical Pouch. I did start out, the first one I did was a Condor. They seem to be similar quality. I didn't have no issue with either one. This is about half the price. But it did have something that the Condor didn't have, and it was a little bit more room. You can tell by the stitching here. Right here on the edge here, you can see the difference when you get a Condor. The stitching is almost all the way to the seam right here. So it gives you about, you get about a good ½ inch more width, and I think a little bit height here. So I was able to get more items in here that I wanted. I set this up to be more for multiple casualties, multiple wounds, not just for one casualty, one wound. I wanted to set up something that you know, I could use if there was a horrific event for my family, or myself, or even my loved ones and neighbors, that, you know, we're able to have more options than just one bandage in here, and, you know, one set of gauze. You know, we're able to take this, and it's very multifunctional. I think when we open it up, you'll see that there's a lot of good quality items in here. Begin with, it's a it's got a Pals webbing in the front. It also has a Pals webbing in the back. Great for you know, hanging items off like you see I did here. Hung two different pouches off in the front. I try to take advantage of what I can. You know, when I get a bag or a pouch or something, I'm one of those guys, I fill it up 100%, and then I try to cram another 10% in here. Why I crammed another 10% inside? Well, I went ahead and started utilizing the straps on the outside. Great. This is a great idea right here. Whoever came up with the Pals webbing, the Molly straps, something that, you know, if you web them in there right, weave them in there, they're very secure. The back here, again, you can use this to web to, like I'll show you here, to like a plate carrier, a load carrier vest, a pack. You know, it's very nice, very convenient. The great thing about these, even if you get the NC Star or the Condor, is that they are rip-away pouches. And you can see you got a little handle here, carry handle. If you attached it like you do there to your vest, this is my load carrier vest. See right here, it's my pouch. My wife has one on her vest, and her son has one on his vest. So we all each individually have one. They're great. You got this strap here with the buckle that holds it on there securely, so it won't get knocked off, right? And you can release your buckle here. You got a handle. You can just simply pull it off, and you got a easy access. You know, somebody can grab it off of you if you were busy, or if you were wounded or whatnot. They can grab it off of you and go to work on somebody, or you can grab it off very easily to work on somebody else, even yourself. You know, it's very flexible. Has some good qualities to it. They're very durable. Seem to be pretty strong. You can just easily just put it right back on. Just find your spot, put it back on there, strap it right in, a little tug, and you're on there. She's not going nowhere. The nice thing about it is, you know, you also got a lot of convenience here, because it's you get multiple colors. You get the color you want to choose. I think I've gotten, this is Coyote Brown, this is OD Green. And let me move this out of the way here. It's nice having that carry handle. You also have the D-rings here in the back. You know, if you wanted to get a rope, you can hang off a tree, hanging off the back of your headrest of your seat. Very convenient, you know. Up front here, I have a headlamp. Just a OD green standard grenade pouch. It's very convenient. I use this for, you know, putting items in, and it fits perfect for the headlamp. You know, on top I have a CPR face mask right there to get to. You don't have to dig through the pack to get to it. You know, if your loved ones are down, it's something you're going to need. They're kind of going the other way now. They're saying don't do CPR, just do chest compressions. But I'm still kind of old school. If my family, I'm going to make sure I, you know, 10 to 1, 15 to 1, 5 to 1, whatever I have the energy or strength to do. I'm gonna keep pumping oxygen into my family and my loved ones to keep them alive until help arrives. On the front here, I have some medical EMT shears. It's nice. These straps are made to go right through here. Velcro, keep them from falling out. You know, they're in there nice and tight. See some guys where they do this right here, they can still come out. So you're going to do it. Make sure you loop it through the hooks on the scissors. Now the EMT shears, you know, they're all good. You have cheap ones or high dollar ones. They all usually are rounded. This one's nice. I like it. It has a little rubber tip on the end. Way if you're cutting somebody's clothes off, it's not going to dig into them and injure your patient. These are great for cutting off clothes, gear, getting access to the wound. Here I have a Recon pressure tourniquet. I've switched over to the Recon. I had the Cat. They're just kind of twice as much. I didn't see anything that was odd about these. They have a nice metal wand. They're strong. I put a pretty good rip on them, and I couldn't get it to break. So I like these. These are pretty good. I think these are like $14 to $16 depending on where you get them, Amazon or whatnot. These are great if you have limbs, legs, arms. Someplace where you got a pretty good bleeder, you can get on there and put pressure on your wound, stop that bleeding. So, you know, that's the most important thing. If you can't stop the bleeding, or give somebody air, you're wasting your time. There's nothing you can do for them. So this is a great item to have in every first aid kit. You get in here, you can open it up. Again, it has a strap to hold it on in the back here. If I wanted to take this one off, it's got the handle. This was strapped onto something. Now you just simply right here, rip it right off. That's what you got right there. Okay, on top here you got a little protective cover. Open it up. This is what I like. The Condor or the NC Star both have the exact same thing there. They have the dual zippers. I really like that. You're not, you know, if you only have one zipper, it's going to be on one side, so you're going to be fumbling, and you know which side is it, and you know seconds count, especially if, you know, somebody you love. You're already nervous and stressed out as it is. You don't want to be fumbling for a zipper. It's nice to right here. I run them both on top. That way I know I can see them, get to them, open it right there. Like I said, this is a trifold pouch. You have your upper, middle, and lower pouches. You can get quite a bit of gear in here if you stage everything in there right. Take your time. It took me a little bit to figure out how to get everything I wanted in there. It wasn't just a one shot, one deal. It took some trying, but I figured it out. And what I got in here, this is how it works for me. And let's go ahead and start with this bottom pouch. It's the mesh zippered pouch. I really like this. It's nice and wide. You know, you put things in there. You put individual things in there that, you know, when you open it up, it's not going to fall out. It's really really nice. The zipper is pretty good. First thing I have here is a second CPR mask. Like I said, I've tried to set this up for multiple casualties, multiple wounds. I'm not trying to just be single-minded on things. I'm trying to look at the worst case scenario. Then I have a little bag of ointments. Some Providone iodine swab pads. These are great for cleaning up a wound. Prep pads, cleaning up a wound before you do any work on them, or even after you're done. You know, to help stop infection. Infection could be most times it could be worse than the initial wound. Here's some providone iodine ointment. This is good there. You know, this is be good after you clean them up. You know, as long as it goes as well with the triple antibiotic ointment here. But this is a great item to have in all your first aid kits. There are a couple packs. They're not the cheapest things to get. You can get a little bit bigger ones, but these are compact. My bigger packs, I carry bottles of it. This is nice right here to have. Again, as I just spoke of, I have some triple antibiotic ointment. These are great for, you know, little small cuts of wounds, or you know, just to prevent that infection from starting. Here I have some alcohol sterile prep pads. These are great for wiping you off, you know, the first responder off. Make sure you're not passing on any bodily fluids or germs or bacteria onto your patient. Maybe clean off your instruments, maybe wipe off around the wound. I don't know if I'd put this directly on somebody's wound, you'd probably piss them off pretty good. I'm sure that wouldn't feel too good. You know, here we get out in the middle of nowhere sometimes, and you might run out of water. You might have to purify some water. You might have no fresh drinking water that's purified. You might have to go to a little stream or a pond and purify some water for your patient. And here's some purifying tabs, water purifying tabs. These are great to have. They're cheap. You know, you should just throw these in everything you got, your glove box, your golf bag, whatever. These are a great, cheap, easy item to have right here. Got a little small burn kit. I wish I had a little bit more room in here. Maybe I'll revamp this thing another day and redo it. But you know, burns are pretty bad. You know, especially camping. You get a little kid that gets burned or something like that, or out in the middle of nowhere. Burns can get infected really easily, and cause your patient to go into shock, and you don't want that. So I threw some burn gel packets in here, little small ones. They sell some a little bit bigger. I might, you know, move up and get the ones that are a little bit bigger than this. And I threw some sterile, non-adhesive gauze pads. You know, when you have a burn, you do not want to put something that's going to stick to there. When you have to take this off to clean the wound or clean the burn, you don't want to have something that's going to stick. That would just be, I don't know if you've ever been burned, but it would be holy hell to rip all that burn flesh and, you know, skin off. It's already tender and hurts as bad. So make sure you get a non-adhesive pad. Here I have a couple little tubes of wound seal. This is just a particle of like a clay, I believe. You use this to pour into the wound, and it'd help start plugging off that wound, help coagulate the blood. You know, stop the bleeding a little bit quicker. This is good for like little small cuts, little shallow, deep cuts. This is a great item here to have. Another item here to have, they're great to have, is super glue. You know, your trigger finger or whatever, you out there and you got a little stupid cut that's, you know, on your main hand, main finger. You know, you're always hitting it. Band-aids don't stick on there, whatever. Super glue is pretty good. This is a great item to have in every big first aid kit or little first aid kit. I have this in every kit I have. A little bag of Band-Aids. You got your standard little small ones, medium-sized Band-Aids. I go with the cloth. I don't like the plastic ones. The cloth seem to do a little bit better when it's wet. The plastic ones, they don't seem to have a good adhesive on there. Fall off a little too prematurely. Some knuckle bandages. It's good to have for your knuckles, little broad wounds. Eye patches. If somebody, you know, got some debris in their eye and you need to keep the sun out of there, some burns, whatever. It's, you know, it's a good item to have here. Cheap. Some steri strips. Someone might have a severe wound above their eye and you don't want to have to get in there and run some sutures. You gotta get them to the doctor. You know, you got a long drive. These are awesome to help to close up a decent sized wound without having to do any actual suturing. And I threw in a couple of smelling salts. These are great if somebody's going into shock, they're passing out. You know, when they're in shock, you want to keep them awake. You want to lose your patient. You want to keep them awake, keep that heart pumping, keep them in the game. This might be a lifesaver right here. Cheap. I got these on Amazon. Maybe 50 cents, 75 cents a piece. These are worth their weight in gold. Threw a bunch of Advil packets in here, ibuprofen, good painkillers. You know, start put some comfort onto your patient. Start getting them little ease, little release of that pain they might be having. Here's some large Band-Aids. These are great if you got a big open wound. You keep the dirt, bugs, rain, walking through swamps, whatever. These are good to have here. Just everyday chapstick. We all get sunburnt. Somebody gets dehydrated. You know, you give them a little chapstick while they're down there. You know, you wait for the first responders. Great fire starter. Try to get things that are multi-use, things that are just, you know, that you can use for another thing. Like a fire starter is a great thing to have right here. Here's an emergency Mylar blanket. These are great. They're compact. You know, again, if your patient's going into shock, you can wrap them up. If you had to leave them and go get help, and you know you had a long walk, you're hours away, you know, and you had to leave them in the dark, you give them a blanket like this. It's going to help retain their body heat, reflect it back to them, and keep them warm until help arrives. Here's a triangular bandage. These are great to have. It's got two safety pins in it. These are great if somebody has a broken arm, sprained arm. You can use this as a pressure bandage. You can use this to filter solids out of water right before you purify it. These have a lot of good uses. These are up there with the bandana. I'm sure there's thousands of uses you could use this thing for. Probably rip it apart, use it for a fire starter. I have two 1-inch rolls of cloth tape. I run with the 3M cloth tape. It seems to have a better sticking power. It lasts a little longer. You can get it wet. It still hold on, and I like it. It's got good cloth to it. When you rip it, it's not hard to rip, but it's strong. It's good quality tape. It's worth a couple extra bucks for it. You never have enough tape. I wish I could get 30 more rolls of this in here, but this is use this for many different items too. For a pressure bandage, you know, to keep. If you don't have Band-Aid, you can use this to put over a wound to keep insects or dirt out of it, keep from getting infected. We've got 2 rolls of elastic bandage here. This is nice. It's the Velcro, so you don't need any safety pins. I don't got to fumble around and try to find them. Put this right on there. You can use this for a pressure bandage, sprains, breaks, you know, head wounds. These are a great item to have right here. So I threw 2 of these in here. Here's a medium-sized roll of rolled gauze. Great item here. Packing wounds. You know, if you got a head wound, you can wrap somebody's head. You can use this again, you can use this as a pressure bandage. You can put the gauze on somebody, gauze pads, and torque this down on there and help stop some bleeding. Threw some hand warmers in here. Great item to have. Again, this would go with the Mylar blanket. If you had somebody that's going into shock, or you had to walk away and leave them to go get help, you know, you can put these hand warmers in their armpits, their hands, their neck, their groin, their back, their chest. Keep them warm, keep them alert, keep them in the game. It might be hours before you can get help to somebody, and this could be a lifesaver right here. This is combat gauze, quick clot. The great thing about this, it is a vacuum sealed, so it's compressed, and it makes it easier to fit in here. That's why I like finding things like that are vacuum sealed. Just gives you more room to put more things in there. Again, I like to fill it 100% and then add another 10. The great thing about these, they have a little coagulant in there, a little like clay that's built into the fabric of this gauze that helps stop bleeding, helps that blood coagulate, and you know, stop that bleeding sooner than later. It's a great item to have here. These round about, you can find them on eBay for anywhere from $10 to $20 a piece. Someone might say the expiration date's old, but these don't go bad. These are just gauze, and it's if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure that there's it's like a clayish material that's used in here to help stop the bleeding. It's not going to go, it's not going to expire on you. This is an oral airway. If your patient passes out and they had trouble breathing, usually the tongue will fall back into the throat and it'll block off their airway, and they're unconscious. They're unable to, wake themselves up to remove their tongue. You can use this. You can put this in their mouth, hold down that tongue, and it's got an airway built in right here on the sides to help them breathe. Helps hold that tongue down, and then it provides an artificial air path to get air down through their throat and to their lungs. It's a great item to have. They come in so many different sizes. I got 7 kits, and so I kind of just threw a little bit different size in each. Like my son, he's 8, so he's got a couple, 2 or 3 different sizes in his. But these are very important to have. I'm glad I came across these. I have a 6-inch Israeli trauma bandage. These are tried, true, tested. These are great for if you got a heavy bleeder and you need to put some pressure on there. It's got a big pad on there. You can get on there and you can torque down on these. These are made to, stop some bleeding, and that's why I wanted to get one of these in here. Actually, I wanted to get 2, and with the Condor, I was unable to get 2 in here. I would have had both of them in here, and they would be overlapped, and I couldn't get 2 in there. But with the NC Star, I can set them side by side, and I'm able to get 2 in there and close the bag. These are great to have right here. This is the 6-inch. Comes with instructions on the back on how to use it. Very, very good item to have. And I threw a 4-inch in here. Same bandage. That's Israeli bandage, but it's a 4-inch. Again, it's got the directions in the back. These are priceless. You can get these for anywhere from $6 to $8 a piece. They're vacuum sealed, so it helps. Again, it helps create a little bit more space in there to add more items in there. This is the H&H compressed gauze. It's very similar to the Combat Quick Clot gauze, except it doesn't have the minerals or the clay material in there to help stop bleeding. So it's just straight gauze. But again, it's sucked down. You can sit there and give you some more room right here. This stuff is good for packing into wounds. You roll this out. You got you got several yards of this in here, and 4.1 yards of this material that you can sit there and keep packing wounds. You can use this for a pressure bandage. You can filter water with it. If you got a head wound, these are great items to have here. Again, I set this up for multiple wounds, multiple casualties. Give yourself more options. Took some Gorilla Tape and wrapped it around an ink pen. It was just a solid plastic ink pen. Cut it. Made my own little roll of duct tape roll here. Duct tape's good for any duct tape and baling wire to get you out of anything. And just sit there, instead of spending $3 or $4 for one of these, I just made my own. And I went with Gorilla Tape. It seems to have some pretty good bonding to it. It's really, really waterproof. This is great for a pressure bandage if you're in some wet conditions and you need to cover somebody's wound. This is a good item to have. Use this for many different items. Some Tegaderm film, 2 different sizes. These are bandages. These are mainly used for IVs. They're you rip them apart. They're clear, so that the hospital staff can actually see the catheter going into somebody. I went with these because they're pretty good. They're waterproof, and you got that clear air you can see in there. It's a good bandage. It's a clear bandage. It's something if you were in some some rough conditions, just like a swamp, rainy, dusty conditions, you could put this over an open wound if you stitch somebody up, and it'd cover it up. You could still see the wound. It's protected from the rain, the elements, and it's going to keep them clean. Again, that infection, you want to try to prevent infection from somebody, getting that, and ultimately they could die. Threw in 4x4 gauze pads right here. These are worth their weight in gold. The more I can get in here, the better. I got some more in here as well. Just try to. This is something that you can use. Oh, you can fold them over. I went with the 4x4 mainly, just because it's instead of the 2x2. I could cut this. I could fold it. I could do a lot of different things with this, and the more I can get in here, the better. These are very, very valuable, cheap. They're pennies a piece. Two pairs of rubber gloves. Great to keep you clean, so you don't get in, any contaminants from the patient onto you or you onto them. This goes without saying. Everybody knows what rubber gloves are for. How to use them. I threw in some instruments here. Some curved scissors. Some everyday tweezers. You got splinters, fragments. You can get them out. Pair of curved hemostats. These are great because they lock. You got a lock right here. You get a bleeder or blood or artery, you can get in there and clamp it off, stop that bleeding. If you need to hold something up, these are great to have. I threw a pair of straights in there as well. And also another pair of scissors, but straight. They're straight scissors. I need to clean up some wounds. Got some bandages. Lighter. Might need to sterilize my hemostats, scissors. Maybe I need to start a fire to boil some water for my patient. Maybe I need to start a fire to keep them warm while I go to get help. Lighter has so many issues. Maybe I just need light, and here you go. It's cheap. They're compact, small. It's a great item to have in every gear. Your bug out bag, medical bags, glove box. These are a great item to have. I went with a magnifying glass right here. It's a great item to have. I'm getting blind, so if somebody had a splinter, some fragments in them, or something in their eye, I can use this to help alleviate their pain and get them on the path of recovery. There's an NPA. This is for the nasal. This tube here, you would use this surgical lube up the tube, put it in someone's nasal passage, open up their airway to keep them breathing. This is as well as this oral pathway here. This is two good things to have. Oral airway here. These are two great things to have. It gives me two options. I'm able to keep somebody getting air. If you can't get air to somebody, there's nothing you can do. You have all the medical material you need, but if they can't get air, they're going to die. So give yourself options. Give you the people you love options. This is a great item to have here. There's different sizes. I kind of went with this is the 26. Went with something that's going to be more what an average size. Again, my son, he's 8. I threw 2 different sizes in his. So I looked at going, well, I customized his for him, and the same for my wife. She's a little bit bigger but smaller than me, so I kind of customized them for each person. 0.9% saline solution, eye wash. These are great little compact bottles here. You can break the top. They're single use. Break the top. If you got a wound, you can go in there and wash it out, get it clean. Something in somebody's eye. This is a great little deal to have here. Wish I had room. I'd probably throw a couple more in these in there, but these are pretty good here. Surgical mask. Cheap. Got these at the dollar store, maybe 10 cents a piece, if that. Great to put over there. Keep you from breathing anything into the patient's wounds, or if they have blood spraying up, it's not going to get into your airway. Great item to have in your kit as well. Celox. This is a 15 gram pack. This has helps coagulate the blood as well. This is a bigger bag of the wound seal. If you have a big wound, you get in there and pour it in there, throw that gauze in there, start packing it up. Get in there and start packing it. Throw this in there. You need just as important as breathing. Blood is as well. They go together hand in hand. If you don't have blood, you're going to die. If you don't have air, you're going to die. So we only got so much of that juice in us. We need to you need to stop that bleeding as soon as you can. Tourniquets, Celox, bandages, tourniquets. Celox, bandage, tourniquets. you can't have enough of them. And I love this stuff here. You know, it's expensive. This is about $20 a pack, but it's worth it. You know, it's a great item to have in your medical kit. You got a single abdominal gauze dressing here. This is surgical dressing. This is a great deal. You know, you got somebody got a stomach wound, you can get in there, get a big piece of, you know, dressing in there, some gauze, some cotton in there, and help stop that bleeding. Throw you a tourniquet around there, or make you a tourniquet to go around there, put some pressure on somebody, stop that bleeding. Some 3x3 gauze pads. Got a couple of those in here. Just another option, you know. 4x4 is great. Here's a couple 3x3. You got an eye wound, got to cover somebody's face. This is a kind of little homemade suture kit. Another pair of gloves. It gives me a third pair of gloves. 1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 is 2. So I got 3 pairs of gloves in here. Sutures. 4 sets of sutures. Close somebody up. They got a wound on their heavy bleeder. You know, you could suture them up. Their eye, you know, throat, something. You know, you can start suturing them up. Threw in some instruments in here to go along to help do the, you know, suturing. Some curved scissors. Again, I know I already have a pair, but I went ahead and made this kit, this suture kit, all independent on its own. I don't have to go fiddle around, try to find something. I would imagine doing stitches for the first time would be, you know, pretty stressful. I don't want to make the patient any more stressful because I can't find something, and then I get all worked up, and, you know, everybody's in a bad mood or something goes wrong. So I figured it was worth it just to make its own kit. You know, the wound might need to be cleaned up. It might be jagged, and you know, you need to get in there with some curved scissors and cut it and clean it up. Here's a pair of straight scissors. Again, we already got a pair, but we're gonna run 2. Some standard scissors. These are more fine than the other pair. This pair of tweezers, you can see it there. It has little notches on the end. That's good to grab the suture needle. And again, I don't think I said that, but these sutures here, they do have see that curve? They have a curved needle inside there. Pair of straight hemostats. Pair of curved hemostats. Went ahead threw some more triple antibiotic ointment in there. You know, after you do the suturing, you know, you want to prevent any infections happening. This is very important stuff to have. Great stuff right here. Put that on the wound. Bandage it up. Have some povidone iodine prep pads. Got some more in here. Great for cleaning up the wound prior to doing this suturing and afterwards. And some sterile alcohol prep pads. You need to clean up your sutures, your hands. You know, you don't want to pass on any bacteria. You're working on somebody's got an open wound. You want to make sure everything's clean. I'm probably not going to wipe this on that open wound. This is probably going to really create some major discomfort. It's a permanent marker. These are good to have for the tourniquet. If you write down on here the white, you can write down what time you put the tourniquet on here, so you don't want to leave them on there too long. Here's a casualty card. I could use this to write on there, write on the patient's forehead what I did, their name. I could fill out this card, who they are, what their name is, what time this happened, where I've seen the wounds. If I had to leave them and go get help, I could fill this out, leave it on them if somebody came across them, and you guys can see that. Has some hand sanitizer. This is nice. It's in a little aerosol bottle. It's a hand pump. These are really nice. I like these. They're compact. Really convenient. A good thing to have in a lot of your kits right here. You know, spray it off there if you had some, clean yourself up before you went to working on somebody. If you had some bacteria, germs, blood, dirt, whatever, you can help clean yourself off. This is a must-have for sanitation. 4 more 4x4 gauze. You can't have enough of these. Like I said, these are cheap. I can fold them in half. I can cut them. You can use these for many different ways. Pack wounds. These are a must-have. Now this is going to get a little odd here. This is a chest decompression needle. You're going to need some serious training for this. This isn't just something you're just going to go poke somebody in the chest. If somebody had a chest wound and their lungs are leaking and it's creating a pressure inside their chest, they could collapse their lungs. And they can suffocate, and it's causing them a whole heap of pain, I would imagine. You can use this to put into the chest and help alleviate that pressure, so to uncollapse their lungs and so they can expand again and breathe. These take a lot of training. I'm not saying I got the training to do it, but I might be around somebody that knows how to use them, and I have it. I would much rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Here's the pin light. You need to check their eyes. Look into the wounds. They have one. Great little compact little deal here. Here's our 3rd light source. 1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 is 2. So we got our headlamp, our pin light, and I got a snap light here. These are, say, 8 hours. I've gotten 12 hours out of these before. I had to leave somebody I love to go get help. I'm not going to leave them in the dark. They're going to have a light, and if we had to come back in the dark, if I came back with help, I could use this to help find them. Hang it from a tree, just something to give me that signal to know where they are. This is the hyphen vent chest seal. This is the dual pack. You have somebody has a chest wound. They have an entry and exit wound. It could be a sucking chest wound. You put this over that chest wound, seal it off, and the front and the back. That's what these are intended for. If they only have 1 entry wound or 2 entry wounds and no exit wounds, you could double up here, use 1 for 1, or cut them in half. These are great to help stop that lung decompression there if you sucking in air and collapsing the lung. Got 2 sterile disposable scalpels, cleaning up a wound before you sutured it, or cutting out something or some fragments. You need to get in there and clean up somebody. These are great. These are cheap. I think maybe $1 a piece. Everyday tongue depressors. These aren't just good for just looking down their throat. You can use these and put a couple together, break them a couple together. If they have a broken finger, you can use them as a splint. Fire starter. Medical reasons. These are a great item to have here. It's Providone iodine swab sticks. If somebody has a deep wound, you need to clean it out. These are great to have. They got a nice, good sized swab on the end. These are loaded up with Providone iodine inside. These are a good item to have here. They're sterile. Got 3 or 4 of those in there. Sterile cotton swab sticks. Good for cleaning out a wound. Somebody's got somebody in their eye, their ear, their nasal. You can get in there and wipe it out. These are great items. These are really cheap. And some little compact package of baby wipes. These are great to have, to clean out before or after you do your EMT work on your patient. Good to use if you're out in the bush and you got to go. There you go. You got you some stuff right here. That's everything in that pack. So I know a lot of people are going to say, man, you just need a tourniquet and a chest seal and a pressure bandage. I get that. That's fine. That's how you want to put yours. My thinking is if I'm going to need this, if I'm going to be in a situation where I'm going to be hours away from help, I might not even be able to get out on the phone. It could be a SHTF, WROL, grid down situation. Emergency services might not be able to come to help. They might not be able to even go to work. There could be, depending on what the situation was. It might be on my own. We might have to be our own first responders, and that was my mindset on here, going, well, I'm going to set this up for multiple wounds, multiple casualties, and I set it up for each one of us to have one, just in case. I'd rather, again, like I said, I would much rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. It's my family to me is priceless. I love my wife and our son. There's. I wish I could get more in here, but I can't keep making it bigger and bigger. I'm never going to be able to carry it. It'll be like that big bag you seen in the beginning of the video. So I hope you guys like this. I got some other videos coming out later. I do have that trauma kit I'm going to review. I have another large first aid kit. I have an IV kit. I have a couple of bags that we have for our vehicles. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you can get some notifications for the next video. Please leave a comment down there. Let us know what. Let's open this up to discussion. What do you guys think? What would you run in yours? What are we missing here? What else can we put in there? Or what's your great technique you have? Let's work together, because we all are on the same team. Be prepared and be the solution. Thank you.